Hello, and welcome to Ice is Slippery, an unserious podcast about hockey brought to you by 1.5 hockey fans. My name is Kate, and I'm the hockey fan.
Hey, it's me, Fred. And I'm half a hockey fan.
Hello, Fred. How are you today?
I'm good. Sorry, I just can't not, hey, it's me, anybody.
Yeah, it's you. You're just living your best Austin Matthews life over there.
Man, I'm just obsessed. Yeah, I find myself saying it like I've said it at work and like I'm the only one that's in on the joke.
I know. You said it to our kid this morning and she had no idea what you were talking about.
She's like, why are you laughing? You said it's me.
You're like, it's an inside joke with myself. Anyway, hi, how are you today?
Pretty good.
Pretty good considering we lost an hour.
Ooh, yeah. I woke up and I thought I was in a dream because we did not know.
Yeah, the time change happened and nobody told us.
Nobody told us.
We work from home and we have no life, so.
My phone was right, but all the other clocks were wrong and I was confused.
Yeah, luckily I had the internet to tell me things. So, well, we figured it out eventually and now we're here. And now we can talk about the most important thing, hockey.
Oh my God, what a week.
What a week. The trade deadline happened on Friday. It's the most stressful day of the year for me.
Apparently, yeah.
It surpasses Christmas shopping now. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, I said online, and I'll say it again here, that there are 3 different types of hockey fans during trade deadline season. There are the ones like you who find it very boring and tedious.
I indeed do. The mechanics of business are not why I'm into sports, and I'm not even into sports. So.
Right. It's true. You're really not.
Yeah.
So there are ones like this commenter on Reddit where I sent you a screenshot of what he said, but it was basically to paraphrase, I'm addicted to trades, put them directly in my veins. I don't care if you make them up. Just give me the trades.
Wow.
And then there are ones like me who are like, whatever happens, just please do not sell my children.
Right.
So these are the 3 kinds of fans.
What's the third kind?
Those are all 3.
What was the third?
I was the third.
What's the first one?
You're the first one.
Oh, okay. I missed
the
that.
Ones that don't care.
I missed that part.
Hi, it's me, Fred. I don't know what's going on.
No, I got you. Okay. It was just, people literally don't care. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't care, or you care for very different reasons.
True. Yep.
And my reason being that I'm very soft. And,
you're
have a bleeding heart.
Yeah. You're a mama bear, and trade deadlines are not good times for mama bears.
No, because people are stealing my cubs and it's not okay.
They're poaching your cubs.
Yes, they are. And I don't like it. So I don't think we need to talk about all of the hockey trades because there were a lot, and a lot of them we don't really know or care about. Really.
There were like 47
players involved with, I think, 24 separate trades.
Yeah, it's like Joshua Adams goes to, it's just names of people I don't know and do not care about, and teams I don't know and don't care about.
Yes, that is kind of your whole journey with hockey in general, to be honest. Well, I think we need to kick it off with the one that most affects me personally, and that's Dallas.
Yeah.
So I went to bed Thursday night feeling pretty good, like my Dallas boys were safe.
Yeah, and Jim had told you your boys were going to be safe.
Jim Nill said the youngsters are safe. We're not going to trade them. The Thursday night, there was a game and they announced that there's going to be an upcoming kids night and they're going to be giving away Stankoven jerseys to the kids. So I especially felt like Logan Stankoven was safe.
You definitely did.
I really did. I said, oh, okay, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Then I went to bed and then I woke up Friday morning at like 6 a.m. just to find out that in the middle of the night, Elliot Friedman had reported that Dallas was in talks to get Mikko Rantanen from the Hurricanes.
Right.
And my heart instantly dropped because you knew that was going to come at a very high cost.
Yeah, he's not a dollar store hockey player.
He's not a dollar store hockey player. It's true. So it kind of was a will they, won't they deal all day. Like it was like, well, the framework's in place, but there's a big holdup, and that's will he sign an extension or not? And then it came through finally that it was a done deal.
Yeah.
And all we knew was that somebody was getting traded as part of it, but we didn't even know who right away.
Nope.
Which was very stressful. I think we all knew in our hearts that it was, in fact, Logan Stankoven.
I figured it was going to be him and Bork, or just Bork and other good stuff, but...
Yeah, no, it ended up being him, 2 conditional first round draft picks, and 2 third third round draft picks.
Third round, yeah.
And in exchange, we got Mikko Rantanen. And we also got what was the big holdup in the deal. Mikko Rantanen also agreed to sign an 8-year extension with us at $12 million a year.
Yeah.
So this was very big and scary for me.
That was right? Big chess moves have been made.
Huge chess moves, things that were not on my radar at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, on nobody's radar. It was very confusing.
Yeah. Rantanen this year is the story of trades, right? Like everyone's like, what? And then they're like, what again?
Yeah. And I mean, you know me, like I have commitment issues.
You do?
I mean, how long until we got married? Like,
I don't know.
It was like a good 5 years of me dragging my feet. And I'm like, no, maybe next year.
Yeah. So, you do.
You know, it was, I have a hard time committing to stuff. I didn't get my first tattoo till I was 40 because I couldn't make up my mind about what I wanted.
Right.
Like I have issues.
Yeah.
So signing some guy who, yes, he's a great hockey player, but signing some guy who we've never seen him play with our team before to 8 years for $12 million a year seems absolutely fucking insane to me.
Yeah, no like intro contract then it was just Jim pushed all his chips in on this.
It was just we're locking it down.
Right.
This is what's happening.
Here's the future of the Dallas Stars. Boom.
Yeah, and it didn't feel, I mean, like everything usually feels so meticulously planned, and this didn't feel like that at all. And I do think eventually it's going to be a good thing. I'm just nervous. I just don't like change. And I was prepared for some kind of change to happen, but not in this direction. This just came very out of left field, and I didn't like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've obviously talked about this, and you know, my stance is just like the team was good and playoff contenders and doing great, had weak defense, and they signed a superstar point scorer. And I'm like, okay, I hope that works out, but like, I don't know.
I mean, somebody online said, well, you know, last year our big move was to sign Chris Tanev to shore up our defense, and it worked, but then we couldn't score goals. So I guess this year they decided to go with the goal scorer. And I was like, yeah, but our defense is even worse this year. Like Miro, it's not going to be back until at least the playoffs.
Right.
And maybe not even, you know, they're saying maybe the first round of the playoffs. They're not even saying definitely.
And he's coming back off an injury.
Like
he's not coming back the same dude. He's got to get back into it. Yeah.
Yeah. I am alarmed. Once again, I understand that I am not a qualified individual in any sense of the word. Jim Nill is way smarter than I am. He rarely misfires. Matt Dumba accepted, you know.
Yeah.
He's a very smart man. And again, I believe that this probably is the right move or a good move, but I'm resistant to change and I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I think obviously the dude is a beast.
Yeah.
And
they don't call him Moose for nothing.
No. And he seems like he's suited to play in a Dallas type system.
Yes.
It seems like he wants to be in Dallas.
Very much so.
I don't know if that's necessarily just money related or not because of the tax-free stuff and getting a deal there. But there's the Finnish connection, obviously. Yes,
he is in Helsinki South, as Dallas is sometimes known.
Yep. So I don't know. It seems good, but I mean, it does feel to me like, you know, just to put it in like context of me, it's like deciding to do woodworking and running out and buying a $30,000 CNC machine. Like maybe you should see if you like it first. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. It just is a big commitment.
It's a big commitment.
It's like if, you know, like if my sister had just gone out and eloped with somebody I didn't know, I'd be like, whoa, I mean, I'm happy for you, but like, are you sure this is a good idea?
Right.
Like,
right.
I mean, this is great, but like, did you maybe move a little fast?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Or do you have, you know, financial protection in place for this if it doesn't turn out to be a good idea? But I'm happy for you. But
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yes. I think my opinion, like obviously he's, you know, I guess when you get to that level of playing, it's just like, oh, when you show up, you bring a lot of that with you,
right?
Regardless, because you're that good. But like, I don't know. What if he's not? You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, we saw what happened with Nashville this year where they made all these crazy signings and we were all like, yes, Nashville's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
And then they were the worst.
The
They're
absolute
just
worst.
Terrible.
They're on paper, they won the summer trade and all that
Everyone's
stuff.
like, oh, they're going to be contenders this year. And now they're just like in the bottom 5 consistently.
Just saying it can happen. That's all. I'm just,
That's it.
Just saying
chemistry is a thing.
Picking up a Miko doesn't mean a guarantee. And, you know, we watched a good chunk of the trade wars or whatever they were calling it. Like every pundit known to man they were just like wedging extra desks in there. They're like, oh, this is our strategy desk and this is our finance desk. And
let's cut over here to our world affairs desk.
And and when it was like confirmed, everyone's like, well, they're winning the Stanley Cup. Okay, we can just shut down the show now. We're good.
Yeah, it's like Dallas plus Miko equals Cup. And it's like, that's not how math works. Like, that's not, you can't just,
right?
If it was that easy, then we'd all be done. Like, there wouldn't be a point.
If it was that easy, Vegas would win every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they have no morals. So, oh man, yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine, honestly, because literally, like, I'm not a GM. I don't know anything about hockey. I literally don't care about hockey, if we're being real. So it'll probably be fine. But I'm just like, I've seen enough hockey games now to know that, like, nothing's guaranteed. Like,
yeah, I just can't, like, immediately be like, yes, this is right. This is good. I can't. Yeah. Sorry. I don't mean to like rain on anyone's parade or be Captain Buzzkill or anything. I just am a little cautious. That's all.
It's not like as easy as it would have been if like they picked up Ristolainen.
Right.
We've been like, yes, this is good.
Like, good. We need a defenseman.
Right.
And the cost wouldn't have been as high.
Right. Yeah. Could have. Risto would have been cheaper than this option. And I don't know. I mean, God, they haven't had a problem winning games in this second half. So I don't know.
Again, by the same token, though, a lot of times we've been criticized for not taking these big swings. So maybe this was the time. Maybe we've just been waiting for the right big swing. So I think this would probably be easier for me to deal with if I wasn't really bummed about losing Logan Stankoven.
Man,
like, I cried real tears, and I did not even cry at her wedding.
There were actual tears, and I get it. Like, Stankoven's been a part of our life since he showed up.
Yes, I've been following him since his AHL days.
I mean, even before the Stankoven stuff was confirmed, like when we were watching the trade thing, Biz Cheesecake Factory was like, they can't get rid of Stankoven. Don't get rid of that dude. His engine is incredible. And then they got rid of him and he made no comment about Stankoven.
No, I know. It's just, I'm like, but no, my child, he's just leaving and he's just gone now.
He's just gone. No, I mean, he obviously has been struggling this season to score the goals, but that hasn't like made his work less impressive.
Yeah, he's worked so hard and he does not quit. He's amazing. I'm a Stankoven fan no matter where he plays for. So
absolutely.
He's definitely still my guy no matter where. In fact, that is one of the few silver linings I've managed to find in all of this, is that playing for Carolina, they do have those Whalers alternate jerseys that are pretty sick. I've never had a reason to get one before, but if he sticks around on the Hurricanes, I can see a Stankoven Whalers jersey in my future.
I hope he sticks around. I feel like I don't want to see the future where he's bounced around year to year. Because that seems to happen to some players where it's like, oh, they played 2 years here and one, like, you know.
I don't want that for him. I want him to go there and like fit in really well to the system. And from what I understand, he's like basically tailor-made for their system, and he's going to do awesome there. So
he is,
they're like very sort of defense first.
Yep.
From what I understand, he's the kind of player that Brenda Moore, the coach, loves.
And they play like man-to-man, right?
Yes.
Which if you're going to have anyone play man-to-man, make Stankoven playing man-to-man.
Yeah. He's just the most tenacious person.
Yeah.
So, So I'm bummed to lose him, but I'm trying to look on the bright side. I'll follow him.
You're just looking
anywhere.
on the Whalers jersey side.
I'm just looking on the Whalers jersey side.
It would go, those jerseys are fire.
Those jerseys
you would look
great.
good. You would look good in one of those jerseys.
I know. I just got my hair color done. It's all sort of peacock colored. I look fantastic in a Whalers jersey right now.
Yep.
So, and my aunt and my uncle are Canes fans. So it's like, he's just like my cousin Stankoven now.
Cousin Stankoven.
Cousin Stankoven.
Yeah,
he's part of the family still.
I still do feel bad for him because he lives in the same building with like Wyatt and Harley, right? And like everything got announced and then they were off to Edmonton. So like that. What an awkward day for him to be like, oh, bye.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
I'm just going to pack up my bags and leave now.
I'm just going to pack. I guess I won't see you again until I play you. Oh, my God.
And tonight they're playing in Vancouver, and he had like 200 friends and family were going to be there to see him tonight.
Oh, with the Stars.
With the Stars.
Oh.
But no longer, because he is now in Carolina.
Yeah.
So like his dad, I guess, posted on Facebook was like, here's how you cancel your tickets and get your money back.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. So sad. It's the worst.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what becomes of him. Now we can have Wedge Watch and Stank Watch.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll have to come up with our own name for that. But I'll definitely be checking in on the Canes more often to see how my Stankoven is doing.
Yep.
So I'm also not going to get too far into this because this could be a whole other episode. But I will say this like maternal instinct thing is now kicking in favor of Rantanen.
Sure.
Because Avs fans and Canes fans have been very bitter about him signing with Dallas for various reasons.
Yep.
And seeing that, even though I still have my reservations for very like good reasons, like good and like reasonable, rational reasons.
You don't have to sell it to me. I believe you.
Yes.
I believe those are good reasons.
They're normal reasons. But now that like I see the amount of shit people are talking about him, I'm like instinctively feeling very defensive.
Yeah.
So even though I'm still not like, he's still not like my child yet, but he's like my kid's friend who I'm like, okay, you should stay with us for a while.
Yeah.
Until we can figure out your living situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense to me. I have that at work. Like if you're on my team, you show up, you're on my team, like boom. And if anybody outside our team is like talking shit about you, absolutely not. Like you may be the problem, honestly, but you're on my team. You're one of me now. One of me? Yeah.
One of me. One of mine.
One of mine.
Well, no, I've like low key started filling out the adoption paperwork already just because I'm ready to fight. So
yeah.
So yeah, that maternal instinct, it's very strong when you adopt hockey players.
Apparently, yeah. I'm not sure where you got these forms, but I question their legitimacy.
I mean, they're imaginary forms, so,
I feel like we should maybe talk to him make sure he wants to be adopted.
Yeah, adults adoption gets very complicated. Also, yeah, I probably can't afford to adopt him. Maybe he'll lend me some money.
I mean, he's going to have to pay the adoption fee.
He's going to have to pay the adoption fees. So, well, there were other teams that made trades, though. So
there were.
Oh, actually, before we do that, though, this isn't trade related, but I will say that on the same day of the trades, we did get an extension signed in Dallas.
Oh, right.
Wyatt Johnston signed a 5-year contract extension for $8.4 million a year.
Wild.
So good for him.
Good for him. Absolutely.
He has the same agent as Mikko Rantanen. So I somehow imagine that maybe factored into all of the trade talks too. So because they had apparently offered him maybe 8x8 earlier and he had turned that down.
Yeah.
So
I think five's a nice round number.
No, I like 5 because usually it's either like 2 to 3 as a bridge deal or 8, which is like the longest term you can do.
Mm-hmm.
5, I think, is good because it gives you a little bit longer than that bridge deal. So it's like showing commitment on his end.
Yep.
But it's less than that full 8. So he's still going to be sort of like young in his prime when it comes time to renegotiate. And the cap will have gone up then. So he's not just locking himself into where the cap is now or where the cap is expected to be next year. He's going to have like a little more leverage.
He's going to have some negotiation. It's like, obviously he needs to do great in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Or 3 or however, things happen before. But yeah, no, smart business move on his agent's part, probably, because I can't imagine that's coming from him.
Yeah, no, I think he's gambling on himself a little bit there because anything can happen. You could end up with injuries or anything like that.
Right.
So, but he's counting on himself to still be really healthy and productive in 5 years. And if he is, he's going to secure the bag.
I believe that, he'll be probably locking down Rantanen level deals.
For sure. So
when the time comes. So absolutely. Probably for the Stars too.
Probably. Yeah. I imagine he's been so far pretty set on that.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, some other teams. So our other team, the Flyers, also made some trade moves.
They finally pulled the trigger.
They did.
after hinting about it for
years.
Years.
Yes, Scott Laughton sadly has been traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yep.
I know that he really wanted to stay in Philly.
Yep.
It is, I guess, a small consolation that he and his wife are originally from Toronto, so they'll be near family. And
yeah.
His father-in-law passed away earlier this year pretty unexpectedly, so they'll be closer to family and kind of what's like a hard time for them. So
yeah, that's what Danny Briere was saying in the press conference. He's like, it sucks, like it's never easy or whatever, but he's going to play for his home team, which no doubt, like that's going to be a thing in his brain, right? Like he grew up in, like you can't not grow up there and not want to play for the Leafs, probably as a
sure.
Right? I want to play for the Leafs. I'm not even from there.
I know. You don't even play hockey.
I don't even play hockey. I am a right shot, though. We could do a whole podcast on this discovery.
Yes, he's discovered he's a right shot defenseman based on memory.
Yeah. So anyway, that's pretty exciting. That's an opportunity I missed. But yeah, so close to home, playing for his, team he grew up watching. He's probably going to be there a year or two, I guess, and then I don't know.
Maybe he signs back in Philly to retire, or he does a one-day ceremony there to retire his jersey.
Right.
It just sucks because he's been so invested in the Philly community. He's been there forever. And so that's rough.
And he has a deep, deep relationship with Gritty.
He does. He and Gritty are BFFs.
Yeah.
Gritty is pretty heartbroken.
Yep.
And I'm a little concerned about what that means because I think Gritty on a rampage is not anything anybody wants to see.
You don't want that person in that suit going on a rampage.
There's not a person in the suit. One of the national broadcasters said that Gritty was a person in a suit. And we all know that Gritty is a malevolent entity.
That was the most ridiculous hot take I've ever seen from a national.
I know. And they say stupid shit all the time. But like Gritty is a person in a suit. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard in a hot minute.
Yeah, that's not acceptable.
Not acceptable. So, I've talked a little bit about Scott Laughton on the broadcast about sort of all the work he's done in the LGBTQ plus community. He got into the NHL. He was, I think, started playing games in the 2013-2014 season.
Okay.
So the You Can Play organization was started in 2012. So he joined in with them pretty much right when he got into the NHL. So he was really one of the early players in that organization.
Nice.
So he was really sort of one of, the founding members almost. He wasn't a founding member, but he's been in it since the beginning. And during his time in Philly, he partnered with local nonprofits to help grow the game of hockey in the LGBTQ community. He and his former teammate, James Van Riemsdyk, founded the Flyers Pride Initiative, where they hosted members of the LGBTQ community at games and welcomed them to meet and greets and gifted them with Pride gear. Mm-hmm. When the NHL banned Pride tape, he straight up said he would use it anyway before Travis Dermott went ahead and defied the ban and forced the NHL to repeal it. So he's like a real one. He's not just somebody who's like doing it for lip service. He's the real deal. He's like a real ally. So
he's got the legit vibes, and he's got those vibes with like the Philly spirit too, which is just awesome. So,
he's got that murder face energy.
He does.
And it's great. So he's really going to be missed. If there's a small silver lining, it's that part of the return from Toronto is that we are getting Nikita Grabenkin in exchange.
Yep.
So he's a 21-year-old winger who has largely been playing for the Toronto Marlies, which is the Leafs AHL affiliate. Mm-hmm. But he has played 7 games with the Leafs this year.
Yep.
And he has gone popular this year for his way with words.
He is an eloquent MF.
Yes. Yes. Saying things like back check, forecheck, paycheck. And talking about how, like, in hockey, I kill you, you kill me. It's just business.
Exactly.
So
he's hilarious.
He's so funny. He's got a really great personality. And he and Michkov are apparently friends already.
That's cool.
So that's really nice. So I don't know where he's at, if he's going to be sort of with the Phantoms, if he's going to be coming up with the Flyers.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. But
I know that everyone who feels like the Flyers are literally an AHL team are probably not going to be excited by that addition, but
listen, he's a character. He's fun. If nothing else, I'm just really excited to see what happens when he does have to come up and Torts has to deal with him, because Torts is not going to know what's going on. He's going to be very confused.
It'll be very, very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's going to make Meech look like just totally on the straight and narrow.
But we lost Kuzmenko, too.
We did lose Kuzmenko as well. That was the other sad trade. I know we only had him for a few weeks on the Flyers.
Oh, my God.
But I fell madly in love with him. He was so funny and just always smiling. And
great energy, great interviews. Dynamic player on the ice, at least for the games that we got to see him in.
Yeah, the power play looked great while he was there.
He fixed the power play, and now it's broken again.
Now it's broken again. So, and they traded him to the LA Kings. So we'll literally never see him again because we won't watch that.
Kuzmenko's dead to us, unfortunately. We know that there's a cool guy out there in the NHL, but we don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, we'll see him when like our teams play him, but other than that, he won't exist to us because we never remember about the Kings.
No, Kings are a blind spot for sure.
Yeah. The Flyers were involved in another sort of sweet piece of trade news. So Erik Johnson, who has been on the Flyers since last trade deadline.
Who? No, I guess I can't do that joke anymore.
No, you know who Erik Johnson is now. I thought I would eventually stop falling for it. Anyway, Erik Johnson was traded to Colorado in exchange for Giovanni Smith. Mm-hmm. And Erik Johnson, of course, won a cup in Colorado and is still loved there. Nate McKinnon gave an interview and made it pretty clear that EJ is not going to play much. He's pretty much just there for the vibes.
Yep.
Which is, kind of why he was there in Philly, honestly. He was mostly a healthy scratch.
Yeah. I mean, Torts, I remember earlier this year, he's like, Erik knows his role here.
Oh, no, I think he was like, yeah, we've been having to play Erik more than he wanted to play.
Right.
Like we told him he wasn't going to have to play that much. And then people got injured. And so he's pretty happy he doesn't have to play anymore.
Right.
He's old and decrepit. Mm-hmm. So he just wants to be put out to pasture with his bros from Colorado.
He just wants to hang out on Instagram in Colorado.
He does. Yes. He is the most chronically online person in the world, and that's coming from me, which is saying a lot. Yeah. So it's really funny. He's been commenting all over the Avalanche's posts about being back. And so I'm really happy for him and happy for Avalanche fans.
I mean, at the end of the day, the Flyers trades do feel like homey or like kind.
Or like thought out.
Thoughtful.
Not just like business, like cutthroat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel like they really tried to do right by people.
And you sent me that Danny Briere thing, right?
Yeah, the Danny Briere and also the CEO of the Flyers both wrote like really lengthy, nice posts about Scott Laughton that went up on the Flyers Instagram. Yeah, that were way more than just the like, thank you, insert name here that the other players get.
Yeah, no, I responded. I was like, I don't know, sounds like a bunch of business speak to me. And then you showed me the Stankoven sign off, and it was literally like they just pasted "thank you" over a picture they already had, and it's like, all right, see ya, out.
You were like, oh, they picked out a fancy cursive font.
Right.
Like, that's it.
That's it. So,
I sent you some other exits from other teams too. And I was like, no, this is literally, they just say thank you and the name and a picture.
They're like, thanks. And then they just ship them off.
They didn't even do that for the Bruins. Like, they didn't even show a picture of Brad Marchand. They just like showed the trade deal.
You haven't talked about that.
No, that's spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
I'm actually saving that one for last.
All right.
So some other notable trade news though. Brandon Tanev was traded from the Kraken back to his original team, the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to next year's headshot to see if the ghost that haunts him follows him, or even if the ghost is like, nah, fuck Winnipeg, it's too cold here.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for that. I love that guy. He's pretty funny. The national broadcasters interviewed him and didn't understand that he was excited to go and just kept asking about how excited. And he's like, no, literally, I'm real excited. I'm real happy with this. And they're like, so are you happy with this?
Yeah, no, they're like, so how do you feel? And he's like, I'm really happy. I'm excited. This is my first team that ever drafted me. So I'm like going home and they're like, okay, but are you excited? And he's like, yes. As I said earlier, I'm very excited.
He's like,
to return to the team that drafted me. Yeah. And they're like, so this is the team that drafted you. Does that mean anything to you? And he's like, yes, it means that I'm excited to go back there. What's happening? Like,
it was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The dude is psyched.
Yeah, he's real happy.
Clearly psyched.
And he said it. He doesn't know how many other times he can say it and in how many other ways he can say it.
Were they just trying for another storyline of him being like, oh boy, I'm not playing for Seattle anymore?
Or like, I kind of wanted to go to Toronto where my brother is.
I don't know.
Like,
anyway.
It was, or I think they just weren't listening. They're just too confused.
Yeah.
So Ottawa traded Josh Norris to Buffalo, and Brady Tkachuk was very visibly emotional about it.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
they're very close friends. They were roommates in their early days in Ottawa. Brady's wife posted a picture of him and Brady and the new baby Kachuk on Instagram and said, "We'll miss you, Uncle Josh."
Wow.
It's sad. All the commentators were like, wow, the real human emotions at play here. And then would immediately change the subject and get hype about the trades again.
Yeah, their feigned interest and empathy for the like they talk about it. I feel like one guy for TNT did actually like really get into it like earlier in the week.
Anson.
Is that Ace?
Ace, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he was like, no, this is hard. And here's why it's hard.
Especially like when you have families and like your wives and your kids.
And your kids and all.
You have to like move and you don't see your kids for months.
Right.
And then they have to uproot their lives.
Yeah. But yeah, all the other ones are like.
They're like, oh, that's real sad. Look how sad Brady was. Okay, anyway, let's look at this exciting thing.
They're like, trade. They were out of control.
And then like 10 minutes later, they'd be like, oh, now let's look at this very sad footage of Brady Kachuk tearing up over Josh Norris. And now back to the exciting stuff. Like, it was just really horrible.
Yeah. And who was it? Messier trying to be like empathetic. He's like, yeah, it's real tough. And that was it. Like, they just know, I don't know. It's just chess pieces again, which is what I don't like about it. Like, these are real people with real lives. And just looking at them from a paper standpoint, like, I don't know. That's why I don't like this stuff at all.
There was one guy who was an ex-player who was like, yeah, I remember the first time I was on a team and someone got traded and we were all sad. And they were like, well, just deal with it. That's business. And so that's what these guys need to do.
No.
It's like, listen, just because nobody like acknowledged your trauma, it doesn't mean like you can't develop empathy later on in life.
Listen here, boomer.
Exactly. Like, okay, I'm sorry that nobody like treated you nicely when you were sad, but like that doesn't mean that everybody else has to suck it up forever because you also had to suck it up.
You don't have to perpetuate your traumas that you've just internalized and turned into just awfulness. Anyway.
Exactly. And speaking of traumas, Boston. So
they like saved that for the last so they could just like drop a bomb or something.
Well, yeah. So with the trade deadline stuff, the trade deadline officially ends at 3 p.m. Eastern, but some of it has been in sort of like the phone queue.
Right.
And it's like waiting. So Boston had made some trades during the week and the day.
Yep.
They've clearly decided they're tearing it all down this year.
It does seem that maybe that they're unhappy with what they have.
It's a fire sale. So earlier in the week, they traded Trent Frederick to Edmonton. And on Friday, they traded Charlie Coyle to Colorado and Brandon Carlo to Toronto. But the most shocking announcement of all came at the end of the day when they said that Boston had traded their captain Brad Marchand to the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Boom.
Yeah. I mean, it had come out all week that Boston was like, we are shopping anyone and everyone, including Brad Marchand. And Brad Marchand was like, no, I totally want to stay.
Yeah.
And then they're like, nope, too bad, so sad, and traded him to Florida for a conditional second round pick.
It didn't seem like they got much of a return. It seemed like they were just like, get him out of here.
And they retained 50% of his salary.
Yeah. No, it was like a clearance sale on Marchand.
It was. So he is a UFA at the end of the season. So this is really like a pure rental because he doesn't have like any sort of deal worked out with Florida to sign an extension.
Okay.
So the prevailing theory is that Boston's clearly not in the playoff race this year. Mm-hmm. So Marchand was like, okay, listen, I will waive my no move if you send me to Florida and Florida only because I have a good chance to win the cup there. Mm-hmm. And then in the offseason, maybe like we can work out a re-signing at a bargain kind of a deal.
Sure.
So,
well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. That is, again, the theory.
Yep.
Based on probably no actual knowledge.
Based on based
on pure speculation.
Just making shit up.
And wishful thinking. Yeah. But that is the prevailing narrative that's out there. So, but people are, shocked and horrified, but also excited because like a Bennett, Marchand, Matthew Tkachuk line, like the rattery is off the charts.
Gonna need a new word. Like it's rat.
It's like concentrated rat energy.
Yeah, it's like exponential rat.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be like when they throw the rats on ice in Florida, he's gonna be like, I'm home.
Yeah. No, you're gonna be like, where'd Marchand go?
Yeah.
It's just a sea of rats.
It's funny too, because like the only people more distraught than Boston fans who are upset about Brad Marchand being gone are Maple Leafs fans who were like, finally, we won't have to go up against Boston in the first round, but who will now have to face off against Marchand in Florida at some point.
I feel like these Maple Leaf fans that I hear about need to like take a vacation or just like get a new hobby or something. They seem just out of control. Like everything, the world revolves around them, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little excessive sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, that was the trade deadline. It was a lot.
Yeah. No, it ended up being a little bit more interesting than I thought it would be. There was certainly a ton of names being moved around. Like, I don't know if there's any more names that are interesting to me other than what you've already said.
I pretty much only highlighted the ones that you had any kind of interest or connection in.
Yep.
There are plenty other ones that I know you would be like, who in the what now?
Yeah. No, they're like, let's cut to Elliot Friedman. I was like, all right, what do we got? Oh boy, okay.
You're like, this means nothing to me.
I'm going back to my phone.
Yep. So yeah, no, it was a wild ride this year. It was definitely hard on me emotionally. It took a toll on me.
Yeah.
I will say I'm going to maybe try and make a plan to always go get my hair done on trade deadline day from now on.
There you go.
Because it really helped me. Like the next day when I'd start to feel really sad, I could at least look in the mirror and be like, well, at least I have beautiful peacock hair. So
yeah.
You know, I had that going for me whenever I would start to get real sad about Logan Stankoven being gone.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to organize like a trade day kind of.
Yeah.
Pre-event and post-event.
Take the day off work.
Yep.
Get your hair done.
Get your hair done. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself on trade day. I like it.
Yeah.
So that's going to have to be part of the future plan.
I think so. I like this. Yeah. We'll go on a little mini vacation or something.
I like it.
I want to be part of this too.
Yes, I think it sounds great. We'll definitely do that.
Even though I don't care.
I know.
But if I can get like, I don't know, a spa day, I should probably do one of those once a year, maybe.
You probably should.
Anyway.
That's pretty great. So, well, I don't want to do too much in the news this week, but I did put together some palate cleansers for us of some nice moments.
Okay.
So last night, the Nashville Predators beat Chicago 3-2 in overtime. Steven Stamkos had the game winner, which also happened to be the third goal and hat trick for him.
Okay.
So he was responsible for all of Nashville's goals.
Hey.
It was his 14th career hat trick and his first as a Predator.
Yeah. And so what? He's got 3 goals on the season now. Although
he has at least 4 because he had that own goal.
Well, I was going to say, does that count as -1?
Yeah. No. So listen, things can turn around. Maybe sometimes.
Probably not.
Maybe not.
Yep.
The Flames played the Habs last night and won 1-0, which is not like a very exciting game, but Dustin Wolf had a shutout.
Nice.
And the Flames' only goal was scored by Joel Farabee.
Oh, yeah. I saw he did his interview came across my YouTube feed, so I figured he did well.
Yeah.
So good for him. We've also seen him in another game, and he did well in that game.
Yes, and we will get into that in a little bit.
Yep.
Brady Tkachuk scored an OT game winner on Saturday, and the crowd all chanted his name, and it was very nice, especially after him being so emotional on trade day.
Yeah, they're like, hey, man, we're here for you. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. And
even though you're an American.
Yeah, pretty much. Nate McKinnon got an empty net goal and became the first player this season to hit 100 points. And
oh, really?
Yes, this was last night.
Nice.
And it was also his 999th career point.
Wow.
So he's almost to 1,000 career points.
Nice.
Which is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Vitek Vanacek was traded to the Panthers earlier this week to be their new backup goalie. He used to be on the Sharks.
Okay, yep.
And in his Saturday debut with the Panthers, he had a shutout. It was his first in nearly 2 years.
Wow.
And he gave a post-game interview on the ice after winning first start of the game, thanking the crowd. And he said that when they're yelling his name, he feels pumped and it's great.
Hey.
So that was really nice.
That's good. That's nice that he didn't come out and say, hey, it's nice to have a team that plays in front of me.
He did kind of say something along the lines of like, the defense played very hard in front of me and that was very nice. And I couldn't have done it without them or something like that.
Somebody else made some kind of shady comment about where they had come from, right? Where it's like, oh, it's nice to play with a team that like plays well.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
No, I hear that.
Yep.
So on Tuesday, Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee returned to Philly for the first time as Flames players.
Yep.
And one of the Philly beat reporters was able to confirm with Joel Farabee that he and Morgan Frost are living together in Calgary.
Yep.
And he also said, we drive a truck now.
Yep.
So apparently they share a truck, maybe.
Yep.
And I just think it's really nice that the Flyers didn't separate a bonded pair.
Yeah.
So again, part of the Flyers like humane rehoming plan.
Yeah.
For former players.
It ended up feeling that felt like a good trade at the end of the day.
It did.
I mean, I didn't care about either of them staying in Philly, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe Morgan Frost, but Farabee could go.
I think Frost has already shown he is doing better in the Flame system.
Yep.
And Farabee was a little bit slow to start, but he's been looking good the last couple of games.
Yep.
So I think it could be good for both of them.
Yep.
But of course, we all know that you can't outdo the San Jose Sharks when it comes to bromance shenanigans.
Okay.
So on Wednesday, Tyler Toffoli posted a picture on Instagram of him camping out in a hotel room on a sofa bed or a rollout cot.
I think it was a rollout cot.
Yes. And there was Macklin Celebrini in one bed and Will Smith in another. And all three of them appeared to be wearing matching gray hoodies.
Mm-hmm.
And the post pretty quickly blew up. Tyler Toffoli's wife commented on it. I literally thought you were joking. And she dropped a screen cap of a text exchange they had where he essentially told her that he was contractually obligated to have a sleepover with the baby Sharks that night.
Yep.
Because apparently Will Smith had said the night before that if all three of them scored goals in that game, Toffoli would have to camp out in their room. And his wife's immediate response was, they're in the same room? Like, why are you surprised by this? Of course they're in the same room.
It's awesome.
Like, I mean, they can't be away from each other.
Right.
I'm sure they experience psychic pain if they're separated for too long.
Yeah.
So, but that was really cute. And yeah, the San Jose Sharks reposted it and it was all over the place. So.
God, yeah. No, awesome. Super funny. The picture's hilarious. Like those two kids are just living their best college life right now.
They really, really are.
Like they're at the age where they would think like, hey, how about if we all score goals? You spend the night in our room. Like that's just such a younger person thing to think of.
Yeah. And Tyler Toffoli's 32 years old too. So it's not like he's just like a couple years older. Like he is like a full on like way older brother.
I love it.
Like he's like your older brother that went to college when you were still in elementary school. Yep. And he's just like, oh, fuck, I got to go sleep. Like, he's like, what? I don't even get the real bed. I have to be on the rollout bed. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. No, these are professional athletes.
Yes. But he clearly was so delighted by it that he, had somebody come in and take a picture so he could post it on his Instagram.
Yeah. God, so they're fun.
It's just a fun group. I mean, they're people who are fans of teams that are objectively way better than the Sharks who are just like, I'm so jealous of the Sharks vibes right now.
Yeah.
The vibes are immaculate.
The vibes are immaculate. Yeah. I was going to ask too, does that goalie going to Florida mean the cool goalie gets pulled up?
I believe, yes. I believe that means we will have Askarov backup. So
nice.
That would be awesome.
I hope for more interviews and things from him because that dude's awesome.
Yeah. And again, just another great addition to the already fantastic energy in the Sharks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they got all that going on. They got Ty Dellandrea.
Yeah. Who is just, a vibes guy for sure.
Man. Yeah. Maybe they'll be my team next year because I don't know about these Flyers.
Maybe you just change teams every year. Maybe that's your shtick.
Maybe that's my shtick. Maybe.
It was the Kraken before.
I will say straight up in like the 90s, I had a Sharks hat.
I'm sure you did.
I did because I thought it was cool. I also had like a Charlotte Hornets basketball hat because it was cool.
Well, everybody had those and the jackets, the windbreakers.
Yeah. But I believe, a Sharks hat. I had never watched any hockey and I know I saw it at like the mall at like a sporting goods store and was like, give me that.
I think the colors were just so 90s.
They were. Yeah. I also had a Florida Marlins hat, by the way.
Yeah, that checks out too.
So anyway.
Well, that's pretty much where we're at for news. So I think we should...
there's Ovechkin. We watched an Ovechkin game.
That's right. I forgot. We did do that.
We watched that whole game.
We did. We put on an Ovechkin game. You put it on. I was out getting dinner.
Yeah.
And I came back and you had the Capitals on.
I was like, we're watching hockey tonight. We're watching the Capitals.
Yeah. So he's still on his great race.
Yes.
So he currently has 885 goals, which means he's 9 away from tying Gretzky's record and 10 away from breaking it outright.
Yep.
So, and that could actually change within a few hours because the Caps are playing the Kraken about an hour from now.
Oh,
So
interesting. Yeah.
that could change by later today. The last time Ovi scored a goal was in the game against the Rangers on Wednesday when Tom Wilson got into Matt Rempe's face because Rempe kept like crashing into Ovi.
Yeah.
And Tom Wilson's like, stop touching Ovi. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch Ovi. And Matt Rempe was like, I'll touch whoever I want to touch. Like, I'm basically not paraphrasing.
No,
they have both confirmed that this was the exchange that they had.
Yep.
And it looked like they were going to fight. And then when like a different Capitals player, I think it was Duhaime, started a fight with a different Rangers player because Tom Wilson's a very good hockey player and Matt Rempe isn't. And you don't want Tom Wilson off the ice for a 5-minute fighting major.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Yeah, you don't want to. That's not an even trade. Like those two going off the ice, not even Steven.
No, exactly. Yeah. So it was like more of a strategic thing. Like, oh, here, let me fight this other guy, and because nobody cares if I'm in the box for 5 minutes. So they just remain a very silly team, and I enjoyed their shenanigans.
Yeah, no, it's a fun team. It was a reasonable game to watch. It wasn't the best game, if we're being honest.
No.
And at one point, they kept just trying to get the puck to Ovechkin, and in my brain, I'm like, guys, focus on scoring a goal, not getting it to Ovechkin. And then I was like, oh, right. But if you give it to him, he scores goals. So, yeah, you should probably keep trying to give it to him.
Yeah, it's the Leafs kind of do that with Austin Matthews, but he doesn't always quite necessarily deliver the way Ovechkin does.
Yeah.
So, it was fun.
It was a fun game to watch. Tom Wilson won that in overtime.
I believe he did.
And it was a joyous celebration on his part. So
it was.
It was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I liked that one. So, all right. Well, moving on to our teams. The Flyers played some games this week, and that's all we need to say about that.
Yep. Moving on. How those Stars do.
The Stars, we've got, I think, 4 Stars games to talk about. There was a lot happening.
Let me just say about the Flyers.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to make it happen this year. I think we can give up the ghost or whatever the phrase is, and things are not looking good. The wheels are falling off. Torts doesn't know how to even talk to the media anymore. And
he literally comes out and he's like, I'm not going to talk about that game with you guys. Okay. And then he just leaves.
Exactly. He's like, what I have to say is for the team and not for you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're done with the Flyers for this year.
I mean, we're still going to keep watching.
Oh, sure.
And I still think that they will have moments of greatness.
Yep.
But yeah, I think especially with the trade deadline, it became very clear that they're just shutting her down.
Shutting it down. Yeah. They're doing what they did last year when their name was on the line and just not playing well at all.
Nope.
Embarrassing hockey.
Yeah, it has not been ideal.
Okay, sorry. We talked about them too much.
That's okay. Yeah, we just don't need to get into
we don't need to talk about the end.
We don't need to do a post-mortem.
No. Michkov scored some goals, so we like that for him.
Yes, good job, Mich.
There we go.
There were lots of good individual moments that added up to a lot of bad. The end.
The end. A lot of good. You've really captured it.
All right. Well, the Stars.
Okay.
On Sunday, the Blues came and played the Stars. It was the first time Radek Faksa was back in the AAC since he left. Suter had returned before, but Faksa had been injured.
Okay.
So I was really excited to see Radek Faksa until about a minute into the game when he boarded Ilya Lyubushkin and took him out of the game for the rest of the period.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, girl, we do not need this right now.
He didn't get a penalty for that either, did he?
He did.
Oh.
He did get a penalty.
It wasn't a boarding penalty, though?
It was
like a
interference,
cross-checking or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was.
It seemed a little bit dirty.
Well, but no, he did get a penalty because Mason Marchment scored on the power play.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we can put it behind us.
I guess.
It's not like he injured Bischel because he was still out that game.
Yeah, and it's not like he played with Lyubushkin.
True.
So he's just a rando.
He's just an NPC.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know this guy. Fuck him up.
Yeah. So we did score first in that game, but St. Louis tied it up a minute and a half later because we are allergic to holding a lead for any extended period of time.
That, when they score a goal, you go into panic lockdown mode, okay, right?
Yeah, no, it's just okay, start the timer within 90 seconds. They're going to score.
Yep.
But Matt Duchene didn't get the memo because then he scored again very quickly.
Nice.
This time with an assist from Mush. And then that time we made it a whole 5 minutes before St. Louis scored and tied it up. So at the end of the first period, the Stars went on the power play again. And with less than a second left, Wyatt scored off of an assist from Roope Hintz. So he squeaked into the second period up 3-2.
Yep.
So pretty exciting first period, honestly. When the second period kicked off, Lyubushkin was back, which was a huge relief because our defense, as we all know, has been a struggle bus.
Yeah. Do they have like emergency call-up defense like they do with goalies? Can they just like call someone in the stands and be like, put the pads on?
Literally, somebody I follow on Blue Sky was like, anybody in Dallas with like a pair of skates right now is now on call is like defense for the Stars.
Right.
Like, get ready because they will show up at your house and you will have to come to the game. Like, it's stupid out there. So St. Louis ended up making a goalie change. They had Joel Hofer in the net.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Who is their backup. And because they were on day 2 of a back-to-back, so Binnington had started the day before, but they were like, nope, sorry, Binnington, you're back in. So it's likely that Jim Montgomery was trying to light a fire under the team the same way that Mike Sullivan did last week when he pulled Ned from the Pittsburgh Penguins game. But it didn't really pay off right away because about a minute in, Roope Hintz scored a goal after a little back and forth passing with Robo.
Yep. Yeah, they're getting better at their back and forth passing, like all of a sudden.
Yeah, things are connecting.
Yeah, that's been a number one like complaint of mine is their passing.
Yeah,
like,
it's felt so sloppy and disconnected.
I'm like, no, don't pass it to the other team.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, shoot it. Shoot the puck.
Yeah.
If you're not going to pass it to the right player, then shoot the puck.
Right.
So, but no, they're actually passing it to the right player and
then the
looking
player
good.
And the player like can get the puck.
Yes, it's kind of a miracle.
I love it. I love watching hockey like that.
So this would now be our 7th game in a row where we scored 4 or more goals.
Okay.
Which is nice because we've had a lot of low-scoring goals this season. So the Blues' fourth liners, including Foxa, were doing some really solid work, and they managed to sneak another one past Jake about halfway through the second. But then he made some really heroic saves, and so we made it through the second, still up 4-3. So about halfway through the third period, we went on the power play yet again, and Wyatt Johnston scored once more off of like a really incredible passing sequence that saw all 5 Stars players on the ice touch the puck in about a 4-period time span.
Yeah, it was like a Harlem Globetrotters play or something.
Yeah, it was like crazy. Just everybody was like zing, zang, zong.
Yep, the Blues had no idea what to do.
No, it was crazy. It was like the kind of thing they've been trying to do all season, but it was actually like really well executed.
Yeah.
It was really crisp and clean.
Yep.
And the primary assist came from Roope Hintz, who has built some really good chemistry with Wyatt this year. And then a minute later, Mush got sent into the net because he's a disaster. I mean, it's true. It do be true, though.
Yep.
And the Stars went on the power play once more. And then Wyatt scored yet another power play goal. So it was his 3rd power play goal of the game and his 3rd career hat trick.
Nice.
So the Blues pulled Binnington with just over 4 minutes to go, but they couldn't make anything else happen.
Yeah.
And this was a national broadcast, but some kind soul on Reddit put together the highlights synced to Josh and Razor's radio call. So that meant I got to hear Razor talking shit about how the Stars aren't accurate on empty net goals and how they should just get the puck to Essa. Fellow Essa truthers unite.
Yep.
But despite Razor and the crowd yelling at Jake to try for a goalie goal as the clock ticked down, he did not attempt it. So, which was a bummer. He did say after the game, he was like, I'm not very good at those yet. Like, Mason's making fun of me because I didn't try it, but I didn't want to.
Didn't want to embarrass himself.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, Mason Marchment would be like, do it. He was definitely the devil that sits on your shoulder and tells you to do things that will make you look dumb.
Yeah.
And that's why I love him. So overall, we ended up winning 6-3, I think. Yeah, 6-3 was the final score.
Yeah, it was a good looking game that they put together.
It was. And it was a national game. So it was on TNT. Wyatt obviously got the post-game interview.
Yep.
And he made sure to let the TNT guys know because they tried to say bye to him. He was like, wait, before I go, I just wanted to say happy birthday to my mom. It's her birthday. And apparently last year he scored a hat trick on his dad's birthday. So she was like, hey, this year I want a hat trick for my birthday.
Yeah.
So he scored a hat trick for her birthday.
Isn't that stupid? Oh my God.
So stupid. I love it so much.
So good. Yeah.
It's so cute. So also the Stars Instagram posted a video of Thomas Harley unlacing Wyatt's skates after apparently being bested at rock, paper, scissors.
Yep.
This was like last month when Wyatt had to be Maverick Bork's skate valet.
Yep.
So this is apparently an ongoing thing. But I have a lot of questions about this whole situation. Why has this started? Why is unlacing skates the prize?
Yeah. I mean, these are questions we'll never know the answers to. I mean, they're competitive, so I can see them doing rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
they're going to be competitive over everything.
Over everything.
Why is skate untying the stakes?
Yeah. I mean, it is very subservient to untie someone's skates.
No, it is. The picture that the Stars account posted of Thomas, he's like looking over his shoulder like he's been caught. It's like very scandalous. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Like, I just think these are like very fun and sexy hockey shenanigans, and it seems to be correlating with the uptick in play that we've been having. So keep it up, boys.
Yeah.
Have fun.
The vibes do seem to be improving overall, which seems to be translating on the ice, which is our thesis on how to have a good hockey team.
Yes, have a good time, and then you'll have good hockey.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it happens.
Yeah.
Like, Edmonton's so miserable. Why do you think they can't win despite having like the best players? Like, it's because they're very sad.
Yeah. Although the Sharks kind of throw that theory into the...
But they're better than people think they should be.
No, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No, they're going to win the cup like next year. I'm going to order my Sharks hat now.
All right. Well, Tuesday we played the Devils at home. Nottinger was in the goal because he apparently did well when we played the Devils in February.
The dude's locks it down. He's an absolute beast.
He sure is. So there was no Jack Hughes in this game because he had been injured a few days earlier in a game against Vegas with what we would later find out was a season-ending shoulder injury.
Yeah,
so
bummer.
That sucks for him.
God, yeah. And it seemed like Eichel was like super concerned, like on the ice from that. He was like, oh my God, are you okay, dude? Like, that's rough.
Yeah, no, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know each other going back, I think. So it's super brutal. 2 years in a row going out with a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
He had to have surgery. Really sucks for him.
Mm-hmm.
So that was unfortunate. Wyatt scored the opening goal in this game about a minute and a half in. And he's just really settled into his groove lately, which is awesome to see. In the second period, we got our second goal from the unlikeliest of sources, Ilya Lyubushkin.
Oh my God. This was another national broadcast, right?
This was.
They couldn't shut up about it.
They were like, what the hell? Yeah, no. So he's a real defensive defenseman, shutdown defenseman, kind of like Esa Lindell is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not a prolific goal scorer. So this was his first goal in 147 games.
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah.
It has been almost 2 years since he's had a goal.
Yeah.
And he was just beaming. It was so cute. And like the other players were so happy for him.
Everyone was.
I don't know if I've ever seen Robo so happy.
Robo was elated.
He was just thrilled.
Which is not a word I would ever have attached to Robo.
It's not even a word you usually use.
I know, but yeah, he was like floating off the ground.
Oh my God. He was like so happy. Like Lyubushkin was like beaming and like kind of like snuggled into Rope. And like it was just the cutest thing ever. So I was watching the highlights again this morning before this. And I was again lucky and saw one where it had been synced up to the Josh and Razor radio call. And Razor called it a goal scorer's goal.
Nice. Yeah, it was. It was a good looking goal.
It was. Yeah. Coast to coast. Really clean.
Yep.
They cut to Lyubushkin on the bench and he was still grinning, and Dumba and Bush came over and they were all whispering and giggling together.
There was like
very cute.
There was like a defenseman party going on. They're like little
They're
celebration.
Like, look at us. Yeah, we can score goals too. So, and then unfortunately about 30 seconds later, New Jersey ended up getting on the board with a power play goal.
Well, that's how Dallas do it.
That's how we roll.
Get a goal, get distracted, get scored on.
Exactly. With a little over a minute left in the second, the Devils took a delay of game penalty and the Stars went on the power play. And then,
oh yeah, that dude just shot it like right up into the air.
Yeah, no, Razor was like, wow, he just put that like 40 feet into the air. It was like, no arguments there, just skating right to the box.
Yep.
Like, he was, I guess, really tired, the defenseman. So they're in similar boats with their lack of defense right now. So about 40 seconds into that, Duchesne got slashed on the hand and it became a 5-on-3. And one of the Devils players, I think it was Markstrom, seemed to think that Duchesne was being a little dramatic.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess his hand was bleeding, but it did look a little bit like he'd been taking some classes at the Mason Marchment School for Dramatic Arts.
He certainly had the exuberance of a Mason Marchment trainee.
Yes. Yeah. He was emoting to the back of the theater.
Yeah. No.
We'll just say.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but with 13 seconds left, Rope Hint scored another goal in the 2-man advantage. So we ended up the period 3-1.
Yep.
We were still up a player at the start of the third period, but we weren't able to do anything with that. And then the Devils narrowed the gap and they scored a power play goal. And then they scored again on a delayed penalty with 4 minutes left to go. And then we suddenly were tied at 3-3. But then with less than 5 seconds left in the game, Thomas Harley would be the late in the game hero and score the go-ahead goal.
Yeah.
And that came after a quasi-controversial icing call.
Right.
Which was like only really controversial if you're a Devils fan and you thought it should be an icing call.
Yeah, it's controversial if you disagreed with the call.
Yeah, like even Dave Jackson, who's like the most mealy-mouthed, like never says anything definitive, is like,
that guy.
I don't understand why New Jersey is trying to argue anything about this. There's nothing wrong with any of this. That was not an icing. And even if it had been, there's nothing to argue at this point of the game.
That guy needs to go take a nap, but that's another story.
I know. No, he's the worst. It pains me to have to agree with him, but like when even he is making a like firm stance on something, you have to be like, okay, maybe there's something here. So, and it's in the final minute of the game, so Toronto reviews it.
Right, exactly.
So New Jersey is like icing and also goaltender interference, but Toronto reviewed all of it and didn't find anything wrong with it.
No, that's the crux. That's the crux of it. And that goal, I believe I probably said it. I've said this a bunch of times. That's why you watch to the end.
Yes.
4 seconds.
Yeah.
And he wins the game.
Yeah.
Like
in regulation.
Like you have to just hang in for these games. Shit gets wacky. A minute is enough time to score 3 goals.
Yeah, it totally is. I've seen it done.
Right.
So
anyway.
Yeah, no, you just got to go for it. So it was really annoying that this was a national broadcast because you definitely felt the announcers start to feel sorry for the Devils. And then they were all excited about the Devils comeback. And then Cassie Campbell-Price was like, oh, what a heartbreaker when Thomas Harley scored. It's like, could you pretend to be slightly neutral here?
It was, well, I'm not going to go on my like national broadcaster rant, but I think they should all be fired.
Into the sun.
Fired into the sun, yes. Just put them on a boat and just kick the boat off and just, that's it. But yeah, 4 seconds left. Harley scores a game-winning goal. What a heartbreaker is the response. Are you fucking kidding me? No, somebody just won a game with 4 seconds left. Like, let's be excited.
Yeah, why can't you be like, what a goal, what a great, what a great game winner, like,
look at this amazing thing. Immediate negativity. Like, she's dead to me.
Yeah.
I mean, she was already dead to me.
You don't even know who she is.
No, I thought some other lady was there.
You did. It's true.
But they're all dead to me.
They're all dead to you.
If you're a national broadcaster, you guys can go to hell.
Unless you're Brian Boucher, and then you're okay.
Yeah, and the goalie guy. The goalie guy with the suits. And
Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah, he can stay. He's got some bad takes, but it's okay. We can look.
He's very handsome.
He's very handsome. He's got great suits.
He has a great fashion sense.
Bush and him can stay, and the rest need to,
I mean, Josh has done a national broadcast, so he's okay too.
Oh no, Josh and Razor can stay.
No, but I'm talking national broadcast.
Okay, sure.
Josh has done a national broadcast, so
Josh should do all the national broadcasts.
He should. Yeah. So that's it. Josh and Bush from now on.
Josh and Bush cover the entire NHL every game. Every game waits until they're done with their previous game.
The end. We've solved hockey. Get ready, guys. It's going to be a long season.
Yep.
Well, so then we went ahead and played the Flames on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And the Stars had some good chances early in the game, but the Flames got on the board first. A little over 2 minutes in, Joel Farabee totally dangled around Leon Bichsel and scored a very sexy goal.
Yeah. He's like, hey, I heard there's highlight reels. Well, let's put this one on it because it was sick.
It was so good. And poor Leon Bichsel just was not able to hang.
No, he got beat pretty bad there.
He did. I will give him credit, though. He did not let it rattle him.
No.
He just immediately shook it off and looked great the rest of the game, made some really good plays. In fact, Farabee had another dangerous chance 5 minutes later, and Bish did some very diligent back checking and helped break that up. In the second period, the Flames were once again the first to strike, taking them to a 2-0 lead. But then Wyatt got us on the board. Of course, Wyatt coming through once again.
Wyatt crushing it.
Future face of the franchise, Wyatt Johnston.
I don't know. I think Rantanen's the future face of the franchise.
Oh boy, maybe. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
Well, and then halfway through the third, Robo tied it up after a bad turnover from the Flames. So we ended up going to OT, and then Robo was able to also get the game winner with 40 seconds left. So pulled out a 3-2 victory. Not the most exciting game, but
yeah,
we made it through.
Yeah, made it through. I didn't feel like they were going to win that one. I felt like the Flames were...
The Flames really felt very solid the whole way through. Like they felt in control. So it was touch and go.
No, definitely. And yeah, they're a team... I felt the same way about Jersey, too. And I always do. I'm like, man, if they start putting this together, you're all done.
Yeah, no, they just have like, there's like this Terminator quality to them.
Right.
Of like, they just don't get tired and they'll just keep going.
Man, yeah.
Like when they're all healthy and when they all like figure it out, it's going to be real scary.
It's going to be real scary. They just need to put it together. Yeah.
No, they're very close. They have the components.
They have the parts. They just put them together wrong right now.
It's like that time you made brownies and you had the ingredients, but you didn't put them together in the right way.
All the ingredients were there, but those were not brownies that anyone should eat.
It was some kind of carbon life form. We'll leave it at that.
The order of operations makes a big
It really does.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that. And then last night, the Stars have embarked on a road trip and we played at the Oilers in Edmonton.
Yep, the Edmontons were up.
The game was the debut of Mikko Rantanen.
It was.
So photos of him began popping up all over social media pretty much the second his plane touched down in Edmonton. And he does have a little bit of an aura about him, I will say.
Yeah. He certainly carries himself in a way.
Yeah, most Stars players act like some kind of skittish forest creatures whenever there's a camera around. He gets this really confident walk and a good sense of style, and he will sometimes look right at the camera and smile while he's just walking down the street, and he looks very photogenic. So that's good. We do need somebody like that who is not like afraid.
Not goofy.
Or silly.
Yeah.
Who has some kind of confidence of some kind.
And a personality behind that too.
Yeah, so that was very exciting.
Yep.
So, and he looked genuinely happy in photos, both on and off the ice that I saw yesterday.
I will
smiles.
I will say it didn't seem like him showing up in Carolina.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
It seemed like he made a decision and he's happy with it.
Yes. No, he seemed very, very happy in like some candid photos that I saw. So the Oilers have looked terrible since Four Nations and we've looked amazing. So I had a pretty bad feeling going into this one.
Those are not the right ingredients.
Those are not. It was, further complicated by all of the pundits immediately deciding that we're now getting the Stanley Cup after the Rantanen trade.
Yeah.
Because,
No.
Stars plus Rantanen equals Stanley Cup.
They're just ready to wrap up the season and get ready for the next.
Yeah, well, because now all eyes were on the Dallas Stars, and we are like armadillos. We don't like that.
Right.
We do not wish to be perceived. We will roll up into a tiny ball and refuse to be witnessed.
But you do get mad when nobody notices you.
Yes, that is true. We're like, why doesn't anybody pay attention to us? And then they look at us and we're like, don't look at us. That's the Dallas Stars experience for you. So I'm not surprised that we did not look great to start necessarily. We did start off playing pretty strong.
The first, I don't know, 10
minutes?
Maybe 10?
Yeah.
It was fiery.
It was.
On both sides.
Yeah. It was looking really good.
High energy.
Yeah. Very high energy.
Yeah.
Draisaitl took a penalty on us pretty early in the first. And apparently he has a lot of penalty minutes against Dallas over the last several years. Which I find interesting because he really tends to get penalties mostly when he's frustrated.
Right.
So that would indicate he finds us very frustrating.
Which you like.
Which I enjoy.
You like to poke the bear.
I do. It's fun. So, Wyatt Johnston scored a power play goal and Leon looked very sulky in the timeout box, which is entertaining to me. Unfortunately, that would be the last goal that Dallas would score for quite a while. So McDavid was being extra McDavid last night. He did some wizardry and got the puck in front of the net for Hyman to tap in to open the scoring for the Oilers.
Yep.
And then Hyman scored again after an incredible pass from brand new Oiler Jake Wallman.
Yeah. Yeah. What a pass.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Just perfect, like tape to tape.
Like 200 foot, like just, yeah.
It was gorgeous.
So glad. I guess I'm not glad, but like it would suck to get that pass and not finish.
Yeah, no, it was just a great pass.
Yeah.
And Hyman was like real excited for him for passing that nicely. He was like, hey, good job, new guy.
And there was like a half a second, like from the angle that it was where you could, it like pooped out.
Yeah, it like just, there was like a brief pause where you're like, did Jake get it? And then it just kind of trickled through and you're like, oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. So that was unfortunate.
Yep.
And then Victor Arvidsson had a nasty one-timer off the bar. And then McDavid warped the space-time continuum and completely discombobulated Lyubushkin and got like a quintessential McDavid goal.
Holy smokes.
Which he's just stupid. Like,
I mean,
he's so good at hockey.
It's hard to be watching a game and rooting for the other team and see a goal like that and just not like stand up and go, woo.
Yeah, no, it's like, I'm like, oh, thanks. I hate it. Like,
right.
It's like, it's so pretty. Why are you not like on my side?
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, the man has a McDonald's named after him.
Yeah. Two McDonald's. Yeah. There's one in Edmonton and one in his hometown.
I want to go to McDavid's and get a
Connor McGriddle. Get a Connor McGriddle at McDavid's.
I get a McGriddle at McDavid's.
There you go.
So funny. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was pretty silly. And then Connor McBrown. And then Connor Brown threw one in for good measure too. And so by the end of the second period, Edmonton was up 5-1.
Yeah.
So things were not looking great.
Things were not looking great. It was at this point that I went to bed because I was tired and had 64 fluid ounces of something that the main ingredient was chamomile that I was not aware of.
Yes, there was like a nice like tea, like a fruity tea kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like a cold brew infusion like tea. I didn't have anything else to drink, so I whipped that up and boy was I sleepy. And then this morning I was looking at the ingredients and I was like, well, that checks out.
Like, no wonder. Well then. So, despite the score, not everything was terrible up until that point. Like I said, we did look strong at the beginning. We did sort of start to taper off. And really by the end of the first, we looked super gassed.
I mean, from everything I saw up to the third where I got in bed, it just felt dominant on the Edmonton side. It felt like they had more offensive time and felt like they had more shots. It felt like Dallas couldn't get it out of the neutral zone. And when they did get it over in the offensive zone, like they couldn't set anything up.
Yeah. And I wish we would have come out in the second period looking stronger. If we would have come out with a little fire after the sort of trickling off in the first period, it would have been better, but we did not.
Nope.
So that didn't help matters. I think we were down like 3-1 after the first and then lost 2 more goals in the second. So it was feeling pretty insurmountable at that point.
It felt pretty insurmountable, which kind of contributed to me not pushing through my tiredness. I was like, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I said, well, I'll stay up because there's no other game going on. So I'm in it till the very end.
Yep.
I will stay loyal. And my loyalty was somewhat rewarded.
Yeah, I started blowing up my phone as I'm trying to go to bed.
I told you I'd stop. So, Rantanen was looking pretty good in the first part of the game.
I had no complaints about it.
I will say I didn't really have any complaints. His playmaking led up to Wyatt's power play goal.
Sure did.
He was playing with a lot of power and commitment.
Yeah.
He seems to be acclimating really well to the system.
Yep.
Even though, he wasn't necessarily getting all the passes and stuff, he would like collect them right away.
Yeah, it was competent even when it didn't work out as it was intended.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I feel better after watching this.
For a first game, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even when we were down by a lot, I didn't feel like it was because of him or anything like that.
Nope.
So, but the boys worked really hard in the third and tried to rally.
Yeah.
And in fact, Rantanen scored his first goal as a star on the power play.
Not a bad deal. Show up for your first game and score a goal and get a point. Right?
Yeah. And it was, dropped to his knee on a one-timer.
Yep.
It was a real nice goal.
Which is kind of a Draisaitl move.
Yeah, it was very kind of Draisaitl looking, honestly. And it's not like a kind of goal that you see a lot of our players do a lot of the time.
No, Duchesne's done that a couple times.
Duchesne, maybe Rope.
Yeah.
maybe Robo a time or two.
Robo's done it a couple times.
But yeah, it's not like a consistent kind of like signature goal for any of our guys.
Right,
so
exactly.
to see Rantanen do that on his first goal was pretty nice.
It was a good looking goal, and God, authoritative. I use that word for like just monster goals. Like,
Yeah.
and it was authoritative.
It was so clean. And then 6 seconds later, Jamie Benn scored a casual net front backhander that was kind of sassy. And
That was sassy. You're right.
Yeah, it had like a little sass to it. And then we were only down 5-3 with almost 15 minutes left in the third. So we were still in it, which was great. And then 4 minutes left after that. Earlier, I said, 2 games ago that we had a goal from the unlikeliest source. I was wrong. This time, the goal was from the unlikeliest source. Matt Dumba scored a goal, guys.
Matt Dumba.
That
was also an authoritative goal.
It was. It didn't go straight into the net.
Nope.
It went off the goalie, off a defender, and into the net.
At 93 miles an hour.
But it was at 93 miles an hour. Like, the Skinner and the defender just did not have any hope of corralling it. Like,
93 mile an hour slap shot. No thanks.
No, that would really hurt. That would be very painful. So the Stars did pull Jake from the net with a few minutes left to go, but despite their best effort, Dallas couldn't complete the comeback. But losing 5-4 is a lot less embarrassing than losing 5-1.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that they mounted a comeback and we got goals from unlikely sources and they tried different things, which is nice.
Yeah.
But speaking of painful things, we did have some injuries last night.
Yeah.
S. Lindell blocked a puck with basically the inside of his knee.
Oh.
And he looked awful afterwards. Like, he was so pale.
Yeah.
And like sweaty.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh no.
No, that's a terrible. I don't think I've ever taken like an injury there. Like the inside of your thigh, knee, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, it was like he turned his like knee out to block the puck.
Yeah.
So it caught him right on the inside, like kind of right above the knee, like so inner thigh.
I feel like inner thigh is a rough place to catch a puck.
It's very sensitive.
Yeah.
It's
no outer thigh.
No. Like he's pretty stalwart and like he looked rough.
Yeah.
He did have to leave the bench for a little bit. He did come back in the game eventually, but that is going to be a purple bruise.
Oh my
today.
God, right? Oh, that's going to look nasty.
I don't know how well he's going to be able to put weight on that leg today, honestly.
No, that's going to be a problem.
That's going to be rough. So once again, our decor remains cursed.
Yep.
And speaking of curses, the curse of the Dallas Stars puck to the face continues to haunt us.
Unbelievable.
Apparently, our players have had puck magnets installed into their faces.
Yep.
The latest victim is Roope Hintz, who got a puck to the face. It went off his stick, went right up the helmet, caught him right in the face.
Yep.
He went down on the ice and stayed there for a good couple of minutes, and he was like kicking his feet on the ice.
He was kicking his feet. I've never seen a player do that. That's some legit like pain.
And Rope's real stoic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He was, I mean, like by Rope standards, that was like a Mason Marchment kind of performance. Like that was
Can you picture Marchment like coaching him? He's like, well, if you're not going to do anything, you could at least like kick your feet when you go.
just even just like a little bit, just like pretend like you're swimming.
Exactly.
Like just a little, just a little splashy splash.
Acting coach Mason Marchment. That's so funny.
He's got a career after this.
He does.
So yeah, that was really brutal. He left the game and did not come back.
Have we heard anything about that?
Last thing we heard was he was at the hospital getting images done.
Oh boy.
Pete DeBoer said he hoped it wasn't too serious, but they didn't have any imaging done. So that really doesn't tell us anything.
Yeah, no.
But it's not ideal.
No, that's certainly not ideal. And I mentioned this too, like he notably wears his visor like up angled as high as he can get it. So that probably didn't help anything either.
No, I wouldn't imagine so. But yeah, so this year we've had Mush got a puck to the face.
Yep.
The first one that hit him like in the cheekbone.
Yep.
That had him out for a while. Then we had Duchesne caught one at one point.
He did catch one.
That was just more of kind of a graze to the eye, but he was wearing the longer visor.
Yep. He was wearing the weird like speed racer visor or something.
Mm-hmm. Mush caught another one that shattered his nose into several pieces.
Yep.
And he had to basically have reconstructive surgery. And that knocked him out for quite a while. And now he has the Franken visor.
Yep.
Maverick Bork caught a puck to the face.
Sure did. Bled all over the ice.
Oh my God, so much blood. Only missed like 1.5 games, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But and only wasn't wearing like a fishbowl because he didn't want to.
Right.
Like could have and possibly should have been, but he was like, no.
Yep.
He's like, I do not like that. And now Rope.
And now Rope.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Matt Dumba also had some kind of unspecified facial injury at some point, but that was off the ice.
Yeah.
Oh, and in the game where Maverick Bourque caught a puck to the face, Kirill Marchenko from the Blue Jackets also caught a puck to the face on the bench off a friendly fire from one of his teammates and broke his jaw.
Yeah.
And missed a couple weeks. So.
He sure did. He let Dallas know when he got back, though.
Yes, he did.
Because he almost had
almost
had a hat trick.
Yes. So, yeah, no, Dallas is cursed.
Oh, big time.
Big time. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so I'm very concerned about Rope. That did not look good.
I'd be wearing a full face mask if I played for Dallas.
I reposted the picture of the diving helmet that I found before. And I was like, I posted this before as a joke, but I'm starting to think this is serious.
Yeah.
Like,
no, they need something.
They need something. Yep. We are totally cursed.
Yep.
So I don't know. We play again tonight against the Canucks. The Canucks are sort of borderline right now.
Trap team, right?
Yeah, maybe kind of.
Trap game, not trap team. Trap game.
Trap game could be, they're definitely fighting real hard to get into the playoffs right now. I think Quinn Hughes is back.
Yeah.
Pettersson scored a goal recently.
Hey,
so
look at him.
He might be making a resurgence. I don't know.
He's got what, upwards of 5 goals this year?
Oh boy. So yeah, things are happening. I don't know what to think about tonight. I do feel optimistic though, more optimistic about the Rantanen trade.
Well, yeah, they'll have had a skate at least and been able to talk to him and dude just showed up and got on the ice and scored a goal, so it was pretty. Yeah,
and an assist.
Right, it's pretty reassuring. But I will also say, since the Rantanen trade, they're 0-1. So
yes, but it's a long season and there's a lot of games, so you really can't make any decisions immediately.
No, they're winning the cup.
All right. Hockey pundits.
Yeah. Is that it?
You know what? I think that's it. I don't think we have time for anything else today.
No, we've been going a long time.
We have been. So next week, stay tuned. It's probably going to be maybe a slightly different format.
Oh, right.
Because we are going to try to go see the Stars play the Avalanche next weekend.
Yep.
It might be trickier to get tickets now.
Oh, right.
Because, we kind of put off getting them because we're going to try and scoop up a last minute deal.
We're going to do a last minute deal, just have fun, just Yeah, but now Rantanen's going to be there. It's going to be Rantanen's first game in Denver as a Dallas Star. In green.
So who knows? We might be paying way too much money for nosebleeds.
Yeah, it's going to be playoff ticket prices for a matinee game.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think we're still going to give it a try. So next weekend, we will very likely be going to the game. And I don't know, maybe broadcasting from the car. We'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be an adventure.
Yeah, we're going to possibly record on the way home because, we've got family in town. So we don't want to be spending 3-4 hours doing this nonsense.
Yes, when in addition to the 2 loud cats and the loud teenager we would have additionally 3 other children and an adult.
Yeah, so it might be a mobile podcast and we record it in the car ride coming home. Who knows? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll find out. It'll be an adventure. Stay tuned.
Yep.
And that's the end of regulation for this week's episode of Ice is Slippery. You can find us on Tumblr, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram at Ice is Slippery Pod. You can also email us at iceisslipperypod@gmail.com, where we'd love to get suggestions for games and hear your hockey hot takes. Until next week, stay out of the penalty box.